10. Rumbling your inner ear on command. There's a tiny muscle in your middle ear called the tensor tympani. About 43% of people can voluntarily contract it to produce a low rumbling sound inside their head. If you've ever tensed something near your jaw and heard a deep thunder-like noise that nobody else could hear, that's it. You've been doing it your whole life and probably assumed everyone could. They can't. More than half the population has no idea what you're talking about when you describe this. A 2021 study from the CHI Conference on Human Factors found that this ability could potentially be used as a hands-free control interface, which is a fancy way of saying researchers want you to operate your phone with a muscle inside your skull. There's an entire Reddit community of tens of thousands of people who discovered they can do this and spent years thinking it was just what ears do. It's not. Your ears aren't supposed to take requests. The fact that yours does means you've been walking around with a bonus feature since birth and nobody handed you the user manual. Number 9. Voluntarily giving yourself goosebumps. It's called voluntarily generated piloerection, which sounds like something you'd get arrested for, but is actually just goosebumps on demand. A 2018 study published in PeerJ documented 32 people who can trigger them with no emotional stimulus at all. No scary movie, no cold breeze, no music swelling in the background, just willpower. About 1 in every 1,500 people can do this. Participants described tightening a muscle behind their ears and feeling the wave travel from the back of their neck, down their arms, and across their chest. Some could isolate it to one arm. Some could flip it on and off like a light switch. Your nervous system treats goosebumps the same way it treats digestion, something it handles without asking you first. These people just overrode the system. Nobody gave them permission. They just did it. And if you're sitting there right now clenching random muscles trying to make it happen, welcome to the club. About half the people watching this are doing the exact same thing. Number 8. Vibrating your eyes. About 8% of people can rapidly oscillate their eyes back and forth on command. It looks exactly like what it sounds like. Your eyeballs doing a tiny earthquake in their sockets. Most people who can do this discovered it as a kid, usually by accident, usually while traumatizing their classmates at lunch. It's called voluntary nystagmus, completely harmless. But researchers still haven't nailed down exactly how it works, because these muscles aren't supposed to take direct orders from your conscious brain. They're wired into the autonomic system, the same network that controls your heartbeat and your reflexes. Stuff you don't get a vote on. And yet some people just decided one day that their eyes should vibrate, and their nervous system went, sure, I guess. If you can do this, congratulations. You have a party trick that medical textbooks can't fully explain. If you can't, don't force it. You'll just give yourself a headache and look like you're buffering. Number 7, consciously slowing your heart rate. Your heart beats on autopilot. You don't think about it, you don't control it. It just goes. Except you actually can control it. And the method is embarrassingly simple. The Valsalva maneuver involves bearing down like you're trying to pop your ears while holding your breath. Emergency room doctors teach this to patients experiencing supraventricular tachycardia, a condition where your heart suddenly starts racing for no apparent reason. The maneuver stimulates the vagus nerve and can reset your heart rhythm without medication. No pills, no machines, just a breathing trick that tells your heart to knock it off. You can also build this over time. Navy SEALs use box breathing, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds hold. Repeated cycles drop resting heart rate by up to 20 beats per minute. That's not wellness influencer nonsense. That's a measurable physiological change from breathing in a square pattern. Your heart has been running the show your entire life unchallenged. Turns out it folds the second you actually push back. Number 6, consciously dilating your pupils. Some people can widen their pupils on command, no drugs, no darkness, no change in lighting, just a decision. Researchers documented individuals who could voluntarily control pupillary response, which was previously assumed to be entirely outside conscious reach. Your pupils react to light. That's supposed to be the whole story. End of chapter. But some people found a workaround. The most common method involves imagining complete darkness or focusing on something extremely far away, which tricks the sympathetic nervous system into dilating as if the lights went out. But some individuals skip the mental trick entirely. They just decide their pupils should expand, and they do. No technique, no visualization, just vibes. If you've ever stared at someone and watched their pupils grow while absolutely nothing in the room changed, don't flatter yourself. It might not be attraction. It might just be someone who figured out how to mess with their own autonomic nervous system for entertainment. Number 5. Stopping your own hiccups through the phrenic nerve. Hiccups are involuntary spasms of the diaphragm, controlled by the phrenic nerve. Most people's strategy is some tragic combination of holding their breath, drinking water upside down, and having someone jump out from behind a door. None of that is reliable. It's basically medical folklore with a success rate that matches flipping a coin. But there's an actual override. By pressing on specific points behind your earlobes or doing a coordinated breathe and swallow maneuver, you can interrupt the nerve signal at the source. A 2006 study in the British Medical Journal documented a technique involving sustained pressure on the C3 through C5 dermatome region that stopped hiccups in 91% of patients. Not gradually, not after a few awkward minutes. Immediately. One press, done. You've had a kill switch for hiccups your entire life, and nobody mentioned it because doctors are busy with things that actually threaten your survival. Fair enough. But 91% is not a home remedy. That's a cheat code someone hid in your neck. Number 4. Suppressing your immune response through breathing. In 2014, Radboud University Medical Center in the Netherlands injected followers of Wim Hof with endotoxin, a bacterial component that normally triggers fever, chills, headaches, and full-body inflammation. The control group reacted exactly as expected. Got sick, felt terrible, had a rough day. The trained group, almost nothing. Barely any fever. Minimal inflammation. Just sitting there looking unbothered while their immune system apparently decided to listen to their breathing exercises. The results were published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, which is not some wellness blog. That's one of the most respected scientific journals on the planet. The medical community's response was somewhere between fascinated and annoyed, because this wasn't supposed to be possible. Your immune system runs on its own. That's the entire point. It doesn't ask permission before launching a fever, but these people told it to stand down, and it obeyed. Whether you buy into the full Wim Hof cold plunge lifestyle or not, the peer-reviewed data is sitting right there, and nobody's managed to debunk it. Number 3. Echolocation. Daniel Kish lost both eyes to retinal cancer before he was 13 months old. He taught himself to navigate by making sharp tongue clicks and listening to the echoes bouncing off objects around him. He rides a mountain bike through traffic. He hikes alone in forests. He's traveled the world independently. Read that again. A blind man mountain bikes. A 2014 study by Thaler and colleagues put echolocators in a brain scanner and found something that shook the research community. When blind echolocators processed returning sound waves, their visual cortex activated. The part of the brain that was built for seeing said, "Fine, I'll work with sound instead." The brain rewired its own hardware because the original input stopped showing up. And it gets more interesting. Researchers at LMU, Munich later confirmed that sighted people can pick up basic echolocation after just several weeks of practice. You won't be biking blindfolded anytime soon, but the underlying wiring is already in your head. It's just been sitting there dormant because your eyes keep volunteering first. Number 2. Lucid dreaming on command. A 2017 study from the University of Adelaide tested a technique called mild, mnemonic induction of lucid dreams. 17% of participants achieved a lucid dream on their very first night. First night. No months of practice. No float tanks. No ayahuasca. The method is almost insultingly simple. Wake up after 5 hours of sleep. Tell yourself, next time I'm dreaming, I will remember that I'm dreaming. Go back to sleep. That's the whole thing. With regular practice, some people hit lucid states multiple times per week. Full awareness inside a dream. Fly anywhere. Build anything. Talk to anyone. Your brain already creates an entire cinematic universe for you every single night, and you just sleep through it like it's nothing. Some researchers believe lucid dreaming can be used for rehearsing real-world skills, processing trauma, and unlocking creative problem-solving. You spend roughly a third of your life unconscious. This is the closest thing to getting that time back. Number 1, perfect pitch through training. For decades, scientists believed perfect pitch, the ability to identify any musical note without a reference tone, was purely genetic. You either had it at birth or you didn't. Mozart had it, Beethoven had it, and everyone else got to feel inadequate about it forever. A 2014 study from the University of Chicago challenged that completely. Adults with no musical background developed functional pitch recognition through structured training programs. The window is easier in childhood, sure, but the adult brain retains enough plasticity to approximate the ability well into middle age. People treated this like a gift handed down from the gods of music, some rare talent baked into your DNA that mere mortals couldn't access. Turns out it's a skill hiding inside a brain that nobody bothered to train, which honestly is the best summary of this entire list. Your body has been sitting on abilities you've never activated, not because you can't, because nobody ever showed you where the on switch was. And that's 10 things your body can do that you probably had no idea about. Half of these are abilities scientists still can't fully explain, and the other half you can start practicing tonight. If even one of these made you clench a random muscle in your ear, or stare at your own pupils in a mirror, hit subscribe. We do this every week. I'll see you in the next one.